Alright, so this is my BBL video from beginning to the end. This is going to just be all of the ones that I put out, replacing those in one. So clearance, I had to get clearance in Miami because I live in California and they were not clearing me. In California, you have to get clearance from the place that you're getting surgery. So if you're not getting surgery in California, they're not going to clear you. So that's that. And so I had to get clearance there. You have 3 days. You have your clearance day. It has to be 3 different days. You have your clearance day, you have your pre-op, and then you have your surgery. Sorry, that's the dryer. So you have clearance, pre-op, and surgery, 3 different consecutive days. I had to move my surgery day, end up getting clearance in Miami and paying $500 additional because I had to move it one day. My flight also got canceled. When I went to go and catch my flight, they canceled it to the next day. So I ended up having to go back home and then go back the next morning. I ended up having to catch an Uber from Fort Lauderdale because my recovery house, EOS, does not pick up from Fort Lauderdale. They pick up from MIA only. So that was my first expense. That was unexpected. I had to Uber from there. Take extra money when you go because you will have more expenses than you expect. So I did that, and then so get there, and the surgery house again was EOS. Recovery house, was EOS house number 2. The girls were great. They were awesome. I love the house. Everybody was nice. They take really good care of you there. First night I was at the recovery house by myself. The next night they had 3 beds in one room. Then my surgery sister came on in. We became surgery sisters while we were there. We met, hit it off. It was great. So her birthday is a day before mine, as a matter of fact. And we were very, very similar in our lifestyle and experiences. But that's her business. I'm not going to say her name, but shout out to her. Hey, sister, love you. Just talked to her today, as a matter of fact. But so I went to get clearance my next day. They didn't take me to go get clearance, so I had to Uber there. That was the second time I had an expense that I didn't expect. You're supposed to have clearance before you even come out there, and they're not obligated to take you to do anything that doesn't have anything to directly do with your surgery. So they didn't take me there. I had to Uber there and Uber back. So that was 3 times I had to catch an Uber so far. And I had to pay for it, So I went, got my clearance. I walked down the street to Jolie Plastic Surgery. It was a nice little stretch, but it was beautiful. Miami, Florida was a very nice place to be at the time. The weather was really nice, so had a nice time. Talked to my daughter on the way out there, told her my experience from this point, and got to Jolie. Jolie, I'm very glad that I didn't go to Jolie when I got there. I think this was a Jolie that was the ghetto Jolie, I should say. It wasn't as clean as I would expect it to be compared to Mia. They didn't really look like, it looked like a clinic, like one of those free clinics. That's what that Jolie looked like. I don't know, from what I understand, they have 2 different locations, so that's what that one looked like. So anyway, instead of getting my money back, because I paid $500 to go to Dr. Kagan, I didn't change over to Mehio from Kagan because Kagan did anything wrong. I think his surgeries are great. Mehio was just a younger doctor, and I liked his work better. So I left the $500 there, and I put another $500 down to go to Mehio instead. So instead of them giving me my money back, they asked me if I wanted $500 in merchandise, meaning faja, foams. You need a lot of stuff, massages, whatever. And I said, heck yeah. So I ended up getting 3 fajas. I have 4 because one came with my surgery in the package that I bought. So I ended up with 4 fajas. So went and got those fajas, went next door, paid $6 and something to take in one of my fajas 3 inches because I knew I was going to need it. So I had 3 different size fajas. I got 2 different sizes, and so the third one was the same size as one of the other, and the smallest faja I got no, not the smallest one. The largest one I got was the one that I got taken in 3 inches because I knew that my hips and my butt would be big, and I wanted that to be large and stay the same size as my swelling, because I wanted to keep most of my fat. I got that trick from Curvy Girls. Go get your Curvy Girl faja. As a matter of fact, she is the best in the game that I have seen. All the other fajas, yeah, that's great, but Curvy Girls, honey, let me tell you, look up Curvy Girls on Instagram, YouTube. You see her body. Her body is, ooh, her waist is so small, and her hips and stuff. She was my wish pick for BBL. Although I didn't tell Mehio anything, he just made my body the way he wanted it to, and I loved it. Came out better than I even expected. So got my fajas, Ubered back home, and then the next day was my pre-op. They sent me to the wrong location for my pre-op. They sent me to, which I didn't mind because, you know, what else was I there for? I was just there to get the surgery, so I didn't have no place to go. It was nice, plus I was visiting, so I just went to this little restaurant that was downstairs from the Mia location that I went to that they sent me to, and so I ate. Took her about an hour and a half to come and get me, and then I took some food to go home because I still had 2 days before I was going to get my surgery. That was my pre-op, so I had all that day, and then I had my surgery the next day, so really one day. So I ate my food. She came and picked me back up, went to the right appointment in the other office, which was very nice. They were both very clean, but the one that I had my pre-op appointment at was the same one that I would have my surgery at, and that was a nicer office, so I was much happier. They're both really nice, but it's just, you know, I like that office better. That's their, like, main office building. I think that's their newest one, too. But anyway, so did that, got my food, faja, went home, and then my pre-op appointment, I sat there. I was there for like 4 hours for my pre-op appointment. This girl was really mean and rude, and then Jonathan, who I love, came in and got me right in there. They're all very nice, and it was great, but Jonathan was my favorite. I love him. You guys will, if you go to Mia, you'll see him, you'll know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so did my pre-op, got home about 4 or 5 hours later. The next morning, my surgery was like at 5 o'clock, so I left at like 4:15, 4:30 we left. And then I came back home, and the next day was surgery. Got the surgery. Woke up 4:30, got the surgery at 5. But got there, they tested me. I filled out paperwork. They drug test you that day right before you go into surgery. They give you your clothes to put on. You put on your compression socks, your little cap, your gown that opens in the back, and then you go in afterwards. So I went in, laid down. His anesthesiologist was beautiful. He has a bunch of women that work for him, and they are beautiful, and he is very handsome. So he came into the office. He was like, "Hey, how you doing?" He sat like this close to me. He was gorgeous, and he smells good. He was like, "Do you have any questions for me?" You know, I like the fact that he looked you dead in your eyes, you know, to make you fall in love with him. And no, I'm just playing. But you know, you trust people when you look them. And I know the trick. He probably didn't think I did, but I did. When you want people to trust you, you know, you look them in the eye. That means, you know, I'm being straight up with you, you know. So he was like, okay. I just told him, I said, no, I just got one thing I want to say. I have big breasts. I want to vixen body. I want to be curvy. I want to look like your other girls. Give me a big booty. Don't play no games with me. I'm not coming back. I have these huge breasts, and I need my butt and my hips to match my breasts. I already had hips, so I really didn't think he was going to give me hips, but I just told him I wanted a big butt. You have a band on your hand. Your band on your hand tells you how many cc's you actually got put in your body. So I know a lot of ladies just don't know, but you do wear a band, and they write your cc's on your body. Just FYI, I had 2,000. So he said, all right, let's see your body. So I dropped my robe, and he said, okay, we're gonna give you hips. I was like, oh, I need hips. Okay, great, whatever. I didn't expect to have them. So he said, and then he wrote big on the back of my leg because I told him I wanted a big butt. So he sure did. He gave me a big butt. And when I woke up, I didn't wake up really cold like the other women, but it was cold, but not shivering, like I couldn't stand it. They put the warm hose in under the blanket. I woke up on my back. It was a lot of pressure, but not really pain, but a lot of pressure. And I was like, can you turn me over? Are you able to flip me over? Because it was uncomfortable. So she said, yeah, just give me a minute. She came back about 2 minutes later and she flipped me on my stomach. And then about 15 minutes after that, we left. She came back in and was like, are you okay? Here's some something to drink. I was like, no, I'm fine. I'm just ready to go. So they helped me in the wheelchair. And then we got in the car. We left, got home. I was great. The ride home in the airport and in the airplane. The airport was okay. That was fine. The airplane was a disaster. I ended up having to circle the airport for an hour and a half on top of the airport because we couldn't land. The weather was so bad. When you're in a plane, you have to stay off your butt, and it's not comfortable when you have to sit down on that BBL pillow because of the pressure on your hips and your butt. You still don't, it feels pressure. It's just not touching the seat, but it's a lot of pressure, and it feels really uncomfortable because it's tight. So circled for an hour and a half and finally landed, and then got home. And after I got home, everything was great. I felt 100 after 2 weeks. 6 weeks, Mia called me and made sure everything was good, and they told me they were just checking on me and they want me to start sitting for 30 minutes at a time, no longer than that, and then just get up and walk. And that was that. So about 2 weeks, I felt 100, like myself, 100%. No stiffness or anything like that. I continued to take my iron and all of my vitamins and all that before they were gone. Until they were gone. And I finished my penicillin or whatever they give you, antibiotics. I finished that before I even left there. If you take it right, then you might finish before you leave there, because I think it's only like 4 or 5 days worth, and I was there for like 6 days. So that was that. I am 10 weeks now. I feel great. I do still wear my faja. I wear my foams every now and then. I don't swell as much as I did swell, as much as I used to swell, but last Friday I made 10 weeks, so I'm looking forward to 6 months. Looking forward to even 3 months. Okay, I got a couple more weeks before I'm 3 months, but I'm continuously going down and shrinking. It takes a lot to keep the weight on you as far as eating, because even if you do eat, you're gonna get smaller because it's swelling. Most of it is swelling and water. I can't stay on my feet a lot around my period, because since you're already retaining water on your period, then if you're on your feet for a long time, because of the liposuction, you swell automatically. So when you're retaining water, it's just 3 times faster. So I really have to be careful when I'm on my period. And that's about it. Mia was great. I stayed at EOS. The whole thing cost me about $7,000. Take money for extra expenses, because there are going to be extra expensive. Dr. Mehio did my surgery at Mia Cosmetics, and I think he is just great. And that's about it. That's it. It's my condensed surgery BBL story, condensed from beginning to end, because I know the sound went out on some of my other ones, and they're there. It's little information I'm not going to take down, because I want as many videos out there as possible. That's how you're supposed to do this YouTube thing. So anyway, I'm done. Now it's time for me to do like outfits and clothes and stuff, because I really haven't gotten dressed and got on here at all, and I can now. So I'm just trying to get better and stop swelling. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. Like my videos. Make sure you subscribe. And make sure you turn on your notifications so that you'll see my next video. And yeah, I'll put all that good stuff at the bottom as far as Instagram and Facebook. Yes, I still have a Facebook. I don't do, what is that? Twitter. and Snapchat. I don't do that. Nope, haven't done it yet though. I mean, well, I do have a Snapchat. My daughter made me one. Maybe I'll do the Snapchat, but I never use it. Anyway, bye.